Our reporters visit towns that received the most damage from the storms.
I'm A.Epperson and I'm live in Parthenon, Arkansas, where an EF2 tornado ripped through the city. We have more details coming up in a moment.
And a tornado touched down in Greasy, Oklahoma last night. Find out who is affected and how the community is responding.
We have a team covering the damage live in Newton County.
Let's send it over to UATV's A.Epperson to get an update. Andrew?
Hey there, Clarissa. Well, I'm here in Jasper, Arkansas, which is about 10 minutes away from where the tornado touched down in Parthenon. Like Nancy said, it was an EF2, but it did not stay on the ground that long. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. This was kind of surprising, a surprising place for a tornado to touch down because it's kind of in a little area in between some mountains. So you normally don't see tornadoes drop in the mountains. But this one really did. And what's incredible about this tornado is just the amount of damage it did in a short amount of time. Nancy kind of talked about it just a little bit ago, but there was a church that was damaged. But the talk of the town is the post office, which was completely leveled. It was leveled from the ground up. It was almost like it was picked up and just swirled around the town. Not a lot of people living in this town, so there were no injuries, thank goodness, but there was still a lot of damage. I talked to a 15-year-old who said it's really surprising that something like this happened in his little community. So very, very surprising there from that. And I know that he joins the rest of his community in being happy that there were no injuries and especially no deaths.
So, Andrew, exactly how long was the tornado on the ground?
Well, I'd have to say it was on the ground for probably 4 or 5 seconds. When we were out there and we surveyed the damage, we noticed that there really wasn't a path. Usually with tornadoes, you see a large path, like the one in Higginson last week that I covered. You can kind of see where the tornado started and where it ended. In this case, there wasn't really a path, which leads me to believe, and I did talk to some of the people that were there, they said that it came and it was about a half-mile wide, so the damage was severe because of just how big the storm was, that it dropped. It was there for probably 4 or 5 seconds and then just went back up in the cloud. It was from a supercell, so this wasn't involved with any squall lines. Usually you'll see larger storms involved with squall lines, but a supercell just kind of dropped a 4 or 5 second long tornado, and that was really where all the damage came.
And how's the community cleaning up?
The community's coming back because of places like the the Blue Cross Blue Shield, the American Red Cross, where they've come in, they brought water, food, and you just see people just around the town who are just picking up stuff that's not even theirs, their neighbors' homes. They've gone and started helping with the damage there. And it's going to take a while for a small community like this to really rebuild from the ground up. But they started doing that early this morning, and I think that they should be done probably within the next few months because, like I said, not that much damage, 4 or 5 second long tornado.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew.
Well, another tornado ripped through a small town of less than 400 people, damaging community buildings and numerous houses. UATV reporter Samantha Marks is live in Greasy, Oklahoma. Samantha, how's it looking out there?
Well, as you can see behind me, it's not looking great. This was one of 2 community buildings that were completely destroyed by the damage. This was one of 2 community buildings that was completely destroyed by the damage last night. I was here all day today talking to everybody I could find, and basically they were just saying that it was scary looking. They said it looked like a big black rain twister. That's how everybody described it that I talked to. There was the American Red Cross here. There was the Cherokee Nation Emergency Services team, and there were hundreds of people here walking around and helping people clean up. There were little piles of sticks everywhere. Everybody was piling the debris together, and then the trucks would come and pick it up. I spoke with one family whose house was a little bit up the hill behind me, and he said that half of his house, 4 bedrooms, were taken by the tornado while his wife and kids were inside. I asked him how it felt. Might have been a dumb question. I asked him how it felt, and he said it just felt terrible. Terrible to know that his wife and kids had to go through that, and he wasn't there. He also lost a lot of livestock, and the community responded so well, but the community buildings behind me was the biggest loss for the city.
Samantha, tell us how long the tornado was on the ground.
I asked that question to people and they said they didn't really know, but the extensive damage, I mean, there was at least a mile or 2 of damage. There was a water tower that was bent in half because of the wind and the tornado. I mean, this was an EF1 tornado. The National Weather Service was out here about 3 o'clock, confirmed that for us. And they said that it bent a water tower in half about a mile away from where I'm standing right now.
Okay, so there was a lot of damage. How are they cleaning up? What do the efforts look like?
So the efforts are great. I mean, I saw people from 3 years old picking up sticks to, an 80-year-old lady bringing bowls of chili for the volunteers. We saw everything out here today. They had a volunteer center where you would get a name tag like this one I have here, and you would get put into teams, and then your team would be assigned a job. So everybody was really coming together and doing really, really awesome work here.
Well, that's good to hear. Thanks so much, Samantha. The tornado was reported to have traveled about 5 miles around Greasy and surrounding cities.